Hi and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Saturday morning to join me. I really do appreciate it. And hey, for all intents and purposes, it's a pretty humorous topic that I want to talk about, and actually, it does have some relevance as to why it really is important to clearly communicate your wants, needs, and/or desires. Otherwise, you're left holding the bag, and I think sometimes both parties mutually feel worse than as if they had actually shown some type of commitment. You feel me? Alright, so here it is. We've talked before on the channel about my lack of commitment, my commitment issues, why I'm such a loser. And I say that, just kind of laughing at myself as I always do. But hey, it's just kind of how I get through my day. How do you get through your day? A part of it, I'm sure, is watching this channel, and I really do appreciate it. Also, there's like no makeup or anything on my nose. It's just, terrible lighting, awful phone, things like that. And it's all. We're just dealing with the normal stuff here. And I'm actually moving the light a little bit and see how my skin tone just slightly turns to a little bit. It's like I can change the tone of my skin. I think we all know that I'm brown and Hispanic, but I'm just saying that, like, I can, it's really interesting. I really want to take a class in lighting, but nonetheless, okay, so a lack of commitment, not just in an individual's life, but on a bigger kind of corporate scale merger kind of a level, is really relevant to today because I want to talk about how Kroger just absolutely failed miserably when it came to trying to acquire Albertsons. So a few months ago, we had brought up, I think around August, September, we had talked about the merger, at that time, the potential merger of Kroger and Albertsons. And at that particular time, I felt exactly as I do at this very moment, only then with a lot of uncertainty and actually very scared, in that we may have been joking about it and we may have actually been able to bring some kind of attention to that matter as we had discussed this, but they failed. And as a result of their failure, they're actually suing one another in court for several hundreds of millions of dollars. A link in the description below to the wiki entry that talks exactly about what we're talking about today, which is the attempted acquisition of Albertsons through Kroger. And just last month, slowly but quietly and surely, it was an abandoned idea by both parties because of both parties pointing fingers at one another, as it specifically concerned their ability to conform or provide regulators with the kind of information that was required in order for this merger to have moved forward. Again, what a big win for consumers all around the country. Like all around the country, grocery markets and stores are already just owned by only a handful of people. And so I think antitrust legislation really worked this time. And there were two judges who had the moral aptitude to absolutely prevent any kind of further damage that us consumers feel every single time we go out to shop for the very things that are required to survive. I mean, even if you're rich, you send somebody to get your groceries. So I'm just saying that to the normal working person, that trip to the grocery store has turned into something of a math equation in and of itself. Not to mention that there are a large percentage of Americans currently receiving assistance from the government to supplement a what otherwise in a lot of cases is zero income. So, it's important, and it's really more important that we had talked about this, I think, recently, how we need to recognize how private corporations and companies benefit and in fact, in a capitalist, weird kind of socialist way, work with the government and are subsidized by the government in ways that are unimaginable point in fact, lots of American families receiving supplemental nutrition assistance through the program, and then spending that money at privately owned and or corporate owned stores and going to private pockets for shareholders and stuff. But that's government money, and if it weren't for that government money, stores would have less revenue, people would be way more unhealthy if that was a thing than they already are here in America, and so on and so forth. But I really feel like this should be celebrated. This was a bad idea from the get go, and it's really telling how the two corporations are now taking one another to court over their inability to provide a kind of formal commitment in a way that was sufficient to the law. So they were not able to prove to a high standard of beyond reasonable doubt that they weren't engaging in what is and what or could be construed as antitrust behavior, the corporate monopolizing, joining forces so that you can continue to arbitrarily raise prices on goods that are literally required for all of us to survive. Now, we're often told that there are low profit margins at grocery stores, and in fact, I think that we should all really understand that that's all right. Grocery stores are one of those businesses that need not a kind of revenue stream from marking up prices that typically only retail sees, because retail is kind of one of those things that's a convenience and in most cases a choice and not a necessity. So sure, you can arbitrarily mark up prices on goods that people desire and or convenient but not necessarily needed. But to say that it's morally okay to jack up the price on eggs, which is what happened, and all different types of beef and poultry for a substantial period of time, while Americans are literally not doing good, financially, at least a large portion or part of them. And I just think that it's a really, really awesome thing that in December of last year, just a little under a month ago now, or approaching a month, Kroger was blocked by two judges. And this is a really awesome thing. And I just feel like it's a really good example of how public discussion can literally change the course of having the rest of us all suffer even more financially than we already are, arguably. And I feel like that's a huge victory for everybody, including people that have a ton of money. I mean, typically speaking, the people that have the most money want to spend the least amount of money. So like it works out for everybody. Not to mention the fact that us working people have to actually find a way to afford those groceries that some might not others think about, as it concerns. It's not just higher rent, it's just also the higher cost of being able to buy food, not to mention high quality food, because it's one thing to be able to afford food in of itself, but how many of us are able to afford the kind of quality diet that one could argue it takes to live our best lives? And you'd be surprised at best if you did some basic math and weren't single, or just lived with some one other person and didn't have to worry about, like many other people in that way. Because can you imagine a family of five, how much money that costs every single day in food? Like for real, for real. You're approaching hundreds of dollars a day, and if it's quality food, oh man, you're looking at closer to a rack, and you be spending 30 racks a month on food. Oh, holy macaroni. Like and again, that's not unreasonable. Food's expensive, and it really is, especially moreover, good food, not fake food, not counterfeit food, not food that we're not sure if it really is food or not. Food that requires preparation, that stuff. And so, my name is Albert. Thank you for watching my show. I really do appreciate it. It's been fun. It'll continue to be fun this year. I don't know why I'm ending it like this, but I think I was trying to get into another joke and I was not able to. But I think I'll make it definitely. I think I will definitely make a couple more videos today. So I look forward to doing that, and I'll talk to everybody really soon. Bye. Hopefully the lighting will be better by then. Who knows? Anyway, bye.